Hey guys, so it's Krista here, and I'm back for another weekly read with showing you guys what I read, what I'm currently reading, and what I intend on reading in the next week. Let's start with the Kindle books. I read The Magic of Finkleton, and I got the opportunity to read The Return to Finkleton. These are by Casey Hilton. They are children's books, ages about 9 to 12. They're cute little stories about the Finkle family who moves to Finkleton after their Uncle Harry dies, and they inherit this shop with magical powers, and they end up learning that they can kind of do some fun stuff with the weather, as well as in the second book a little bit of time traveling. So they're cute. They're for younger kids. They're really short. It took me about an hour and a half to read each book. And so if you guys have little kids, if you want to check it out, they're just really cute short reads. I did end up finishing Glow by Amy Kathleen Ryan. I ended up giving this one 3 stars. It got a little slow in the middle for me. It didn't quite turn out how I thought it was gonna be in the first book in a series. I ended up liking the villain the most in this book, but it's about 2 spaceships and they're traveling to New Earth, and one day one of the spaceships slows down when it's not supposed to. It catches up to this other ship that was behind it, and they come and kidnap all the girls off of the ship, and they disrupt families. A lot of murders happen, and it goes really crazy, and I really love the first half of the book. The middle went kind of slow, and then the ending went weird, different. So I don't know what's going to happen in the next book, but I am really interested to see what does happen. The book I finished this week was Monster High 3 by Lizzie Harrison. This was part of a book club that I participate in. It's not normally something that I would have picked up. She also writes the Alphas and the Click series, and I mean, I think it was fun. It's something different to read. It was entertaining. This is actually the first book that I picked up in the series. I know it is book 3, but I was able to understand what was going on and what was happening in this book without having to read the previous 2, so I was happy about that. It's just something different out of the norm for me, I think. So if you guys like her Alpha or Click series, you guys should pick this one up. The book I got in for the review is The Thorn and the Blossom. This is a 2-sided love story, and one side's told from Brendan, the other side's told from Evelyn. So when you open it up, you get 2 different stories. It does not have any binding in it. It's an accordion style, comes from Quirk Books. This is a romance story, how Brendan and Evelyn met. Really interesting, different way of doing things. There's only about 40 pages each story, so 80 pages total. I felt the story was kind of choppy in places. It jumped around a lot. I liked Brendan's story a lot more than Evelyn's. He was a way more likable character for me, and I feel like I connected with him a little bit better. But it's a really cute romance, more in the adult range. If you guys like romance novels, you may want to look into getting this one. Another book I finished this week was The Adoration of Jenna Fox. I ended up really loving this one, but I didn't give it 5 stars. There was a little bit of Jenna's emotional progression throughout the story that kind of felt a little bit off for me, but that was about it. Everything else I really loved about the story. I liked the whole idea of what our future can become, technology and medicine and stuff like that, stuff that she deals with in this book. I found that very interesting, intriguing, and I really enjoyed this book, and I think you guys should check it out, especially if you, I guess would be considered a science fiction. It says, she wasn't supposed to survive the accident, but she did. And my favorite character in this book was her grandmother, Lily. And you guys should check that one out. I gave it 4 stars. Next book I read was actually a reread for me. I read Unearthly by Cynthia Hand. I wanted to do a little bit of a refresher read with this one because I am looking forward to reading Hallowed to see what happens next with Christian and Tucker and Clara in their story, so I decided to pick that one up. So far, this is one of my favorite Angel reads besides Angel by L.A. Weatherly. This is probably the only other Angel story that I've read all through 2011. that I enjoyed, and it's still in the top for me. I gave it 4 stars. I like the action adventure. I love her training with her mother, learning how to fly, and her friends, great friends in this book. Another book that I read was Burn by Ellen Hopkins. I'm not a huge contemporary fan. I don't really like it when books make me cry. You know, I kind of want to just escape and enjoy myself. I'm a huge fantasy, science fiction person. So contemporaries aren't usually my go-to books. I love that she writes in verse. I find it really impactful writing. You know, it's really bold. And I really like her writing style. As far as the story goes, this is a really sad story with a lot of, it's about a girl that grows up in a Mormon family. She's Mormon religion. Her dad's really, really mean and tough on her. Her mom's kind of ignores her. She's out looking for love, and, you know, it's just a rough life for her. So, I gave it 3 stars. I know, there's a lot of Ellen Hopkins fans out there. But you know, it's true to who Ellen is as a writer. So you guys should check that out. I did also listen to an audiobook of Glass by Ellen Hopkins. This is the second book to Crank. This would make the 3rd Ellen Hopkins book that I've read. And in Glass, the audiobook, this one I didn't like. I did not like the narrator in the audiobook. I gave the audiobook 1 star, and the physical book I gave 3 stars. Really, and the whole verse does not come through in the audiobook. You don't get the same kind of feel from it that you do from actually picking up a physical book. So I can definitely recommend that you guys pick up the physical books if you get the opportunity, because they don't come across the same way. They don't come across the same way on audio, so I definitely recommend picking up the physical books for Ellen. The week that I'll be getting into is The Fox Inheritance. Got this for review over on Burn Bright site, so I'm excited to dig into this. I also got Tempest from Julia Crossan audiobook that I'll be digging into as well for Burn Bright. My book club is reading Looking for Alaska by John Green. This will be my first read through of it. Haven't started it yet, but I hopefully we'll be starting that tomorrow. And some books that I picked up from the library. Scars by Cheryl Rainfield. I picked this one up mostly because I saw Karen talking to this author on Twitter, Karen over at OCD of Books here on YouTube, and it just kept intriguing me even more to go and pick it up, even though I kind of already had it on my wish list. Some interesting stuff going on here, and I can't wait to dig into this one. Another book that I got is Blood Wounds by Sarah Beth Pfeffer. This has been on my wish list for a long time, and I finally decided it had to be picked up. And one that I've seen around a lot but wasn't really intending to read is The Future of Us, but I decided I'd give this one a try as well. So, you guys, that's it. That's all I have to show you for now. So, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys here back again soon. Bye.